And welcome back aboard Blur Force One with your boy Mo and your girl Polly. And this is the Supercast. The Supercast, where we talk about all things superhero in our pop culture media, and that's movies, TV shows, video games. We talk about the news and do some speculation, all of that good nerdy stuff. And before we get into the podcast today, you know what to do. Get down there and hit like on this video. Well, it's almost, in America, it's almost Thanksgiving. The time for giving thanks about all the good stuff we got this year, which is 2020,
Nothing.
2025 is, boy, it is challenging. Let me tell you. But as far as being a superhero nerd is concerned, I think we got a lot to be thankful for, actually. Polly, we got a lot of cool stuff this year. And in fact, coming up next month, as we get to the end of the year, we are going to talk about our best of the year and our most anticipated for 2026. But in the meantime, we got a little bit of news to talk about, and just we're gonna nerd out on superhero stuff, talk about comics and all that good stuff, because that's what we do here on the Supercast. Before we do that, Polly, how you doing? It's good to have you back, as always, on the podcast. What you been up to that's nerdy?
Pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. I have been reading some comics. Not the current ongoing ones, but like some that many people have already read. I've been doing some nerding on a budget, and I've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals. A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
Gambit and Rogue got released, right? Am I last?
No, Rogue hasn't been released
but
yet.
Just Gambit.
But yeah, she's gonna be released in the second half of the season. But
Okay.
Gambit was released, and well, you have no idea how many people just they start playing Gambit, not even considering the fact that he's a support, so he's supposed to be healing his team and supporting his team, which is ironic and kind of funny, considering his history and his role on the team. But yeah, he's a support, so he's supposed to be there in the back supporting you. And most people, they play him as a damage character, so.
When they get damaged.
Shame on them. Shame on them.
They watched X-Men 97. They watched episode 5 of X-Men 97, and they were like, "Remember me?" Or remember?
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember each and every one of them. The ones who led my team to losing. I remember you all.
Yeah, I mean, as a mutant character, you should be used to the feeling of losing often.
That's true, but I don't always. I play like I said that a lot. I play SU mostly. So, and Fantastic Four, they don't really lose. They're not used to losing.
Yeah.
Well, unless you Reed, because Reed is a loser. But the rest of them. So that's new to her for Sue.
Well, I'm sure people. It's a new character. People are getting used to the ins and outs and how to actually play it.
They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. I'm sure of it.
Well, it's Gambit's. He's a team player. Maybe they should, remember that.
No, he's not.
He is on teams. Also,
he's on teams.
I mean, last time, Apocalypse certainly picked him up for a game of,
for his team.
Yeah, for his team. I think
people keep picking him for his team, but that doesn't mean that he's team player.
I think we're actually going to see that in the next season, but of X-Men.
Oh, I hope so. I so hope so. I can't wait for that show. Continue. They did release the social hub, the Times Square in the Marvel Rivals, so you can just hang out here and watch trailers of stuff that's on Disney Plus, trailers for the game and stuff like that. And they do show the trailer of the X-Men, X-Men 97, Season 1, though, not Season 2 yet. And it's always so exciting just, to see so many Marvel characters enjoying so many Marvel trailers. That's cool.
It sounds like they tricked y'all into sitting and watching advertisements. That's just me. It's just what it sounds like to me. You're just like, oh.
Yeah, but most of the players there, I'm sure, have already seen that. And
yeah.
That's not surprising. It's a joy.
They're just like, next thing you know, they're going to be, regular YouTube advertisements. But you know what? It's fine. Oh,
it's okay.
Well,
we're paying for that.
my nerding. I didn't do much this week. Guys, I get outside and touch actual grass fairly regularly because I have little plant babies that need my attention. But I did take some time to watch or do some nerdy stuff this week. One of them was, and shame on me, I started watching Frankenstein, the Guillermo del Toro one on Netflix.
I was planning to do that.
I got an hour into it. It's 2.5 hours. I got an hour into it. I did not finish it, not because it's not good. Actually, I think it's great. I was also drinking at the same time, so I may have overindulged, so I did not finish it. I'm going to get to the end of it, though. It's quite good.
You did finish your drink, but you didn't finish
I finished my drink. That's the problem. But no, it's very good. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I recommend everybody go watch it. I wish I could have seen it in the theater, to be honest. That really annoys me. Speaking of stuff I can't see in theater, Netflix, get your shit together and tell me when Wake Up Dead Man is going to be at my local movie theater. Because God, I'm gonna be so pissed if I can't see it at the theater like I did with Glass Onion and Knives Out.
Is it released? Like, has it been released on Netflix yet?
It's December 12th, I believe. So I'm really.
That's one of the movies I'm waiting to see too.
Yeah, I'm really
not in the theater though. I would much prefer to watch it at home.
I'm me. I'm a theater bum, so
yeah.
I would prefer. We'll see. Also, what else? I watched an episode of a show that I keep hearing about. I've been hearing about for years. I just randomly watched it because it was, I had 20 minutes to spare. Kipo and the Age of the Wonder Beast, the very first episode. I think it's really good. I'm going to go back and watch that show. I don't know how long it's going to take me because I very haphazardly watch these things, but it was very good. I like the Yanu, and this has a similar feel, like Beasts or whatever. But there's a lot of really interesting stuff about a world where its ecosystem and everything has all been messed up by people, and then like now there are talking animals and mutated animals. It's very, very interesting. So I'm gonna go back and check that out. I also I've been watching Stranger Things because Stranger Things season 5 is gonna drop on this coming Wednesday. So my daughter and I we're catching up. Great show. Season 4 is so great. I really, really freaking like the show. I've been enjoying revisiting it with my daughter. I can't wait for season 5. So, I don't know if you watched the show. I don't know if we've.
I watched the show. I watched I think I binged 3 seasons when the season 4 was released.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And since then, of course, I barely remember what was happening. I remember that there was some drama. I'll catch up. I'm sure. Is it going to be released in halves?
It's actually released in 3 parts. So it's
so I'm waiting for part 3.
Yeah,
then.
First part is going to be on next Wednesday. The second part is going to be, I think it's Christmas Day or the day after Christmas. And then the third part is New Year's Day.
I am so not doing that till New Year's.
Well, the third part is an actual full-length movie, I guess. And I've heard that they may do a theatrical release for the final episode. And if they do, I will be at the theater for it. I'm
not gonna do that.
I could have watched this whole series at the theater. It's just season 4 really underscored to me these guys wanted to make a movie, and they were just like, why don't we just make a bunch of movies? Okay, I'm not mad about it. I do have one more thing I need to watch. My daughter sent me a link. There's a Stranger Things play. It's like a prequel to the story that takes place, I guess, in the 70s or 60s, 70s, whatever. The 60s probably. That features Hopper and what's her name? I can't remember her name right now, but all these characters back in the 60s, and also Henry from season 4. And I gotta watch it. But apparently it's canon, so it seems very interesting. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff is happening. That the holidays are they pick this time to drop a bunch of stuff. like and I haven't gotten to watch it yet, but I'm going to watch it. Mighty Nine, that the new Critical Role animated show, dropped the first 3 episodes yesterday. So a lot of stuff is going on right now. They're
these guys are busy.
Yeah, it's that.
I mean,
yeah.
between Dispatch, between like their own stuff going on and making all these shows.
And incidentally,
pretty busy.
Dispatch is doing amazing. Apparently, 2 million sold.
Yeah.
2 million sold, and they said they nearing their 3-year sales goal in 3 months. So like, good on them. I love wins. That's not a game for me in particular, but I love wins for the genre.
50-50 on that, because it's good for the genre. It's fun that people enjoying it. It's fun that it's somebody's project who like wanted to make it. I can't say that it's gonna be my favorite game. I can't say that the game is perfect in my opinion, but yeah, great, good.
But they're gonna do a sequel to it. It's pretty. I mean, obviously
they definitely gonna. It's implied in the story of part 1, season 1, I guess. It is implied. It's kind of weird for me because the game itself, it's not very expensive as far as I remember. It was like 20 something bucks. Yeah, maybe 30. But still, I'm not entirely sure that like it's that I'm ready to pay for season 2. If it's gonna be the same length, if it's gonna be that little impact that I have on the story. I'm not sure that I'm ready yet.
I'd be interested.
Well, it's okay.
I'd be interested in them maybe taking the characters and then kind of putting them in a different genre of game. I know this is a very story like that. Basically, it seems to me like Dispatch, its whole thing is to like sort of speed run a comic book, a whole comic book history of a set of characters. So like it's doing a thing where it's introducing a whole world and characters and everything. And because it's animated, you can sort of get through it faster than maybe reading a bunch of comic books. So I mean, hey, do a different genre of game with the same characters. But the problem is, of course, the characters they don't have the impact because they're new and you don't really know them as well as maybe a Spider-Man.
Well, first of all, I'm fine with the genre. It's one of my favorite genres when you do try it. Like, I know that it's gonna it's freakishly expensive to do something like that, but following in any way the example of Detroit. Game, no, that would be a good idea. Like, make it really, really impactful. Regarding the characters, if they're trying to create another property out of this set of characters, I don't think that's necessarily going to be successful because they, as far as I've seen so far from the reviews, they're very attached to whoever's voicing them, and some people just got into this game because of somebody like.
Aaron Paul,
I guess moderately. No, I think moderately famous or like YouTuber or something. I don't remember who voiced Sonar. And it seems like I mean, these characters they can't necessarily survive on their own. So you put out a story about each one of these characters. I'm not sure it's going to be that great.
What do you think? Do you think tie-in comics maybe? Do you think there's enough story for tie-in
no,
comics?
There is definitely enough story, and they do have tie-in comics in the deluxe edition and additional materials. But I don't think it's going to work well as a comic book. I can see like what kind of comic book it would be, and I don't know. Maybe some people would enjoy it. I personally think
maybe
that
an Infinity comic, like they do with like Jeff the Land Shark or something like that. An Infinity, a little bit more of a low, maybe a low investment situation.
An animated show would have worked. It's the only alternative format that I can see for this. Definitely not a show. It wouldn't be original. Necessarily, it would be kind of like The Boys or Invincible, and it's gonna be like Invincible either way. But yeah, I think that animated show is the best that they could possibly do, aside from the game and the tabletop game, which is technically, both things are very, very workable ideas.
Right. Well, it's Critical Role. I think they can work it, and also the fact that it's Critical Role helps a lot because they have a built-in fan base, and also they like to recognize a lot of the voice actors. So I get it. You know what? We've gotten a little bit far afield. Last thing, you know what it's time to do. We're gonna do Nerdy on a Budget, which is our little segment where we talk about going and getting cool stuff, cool nerdy stuff,
or ordering cool stuff because we're not actually necessarily going.
This is true. Now I will say, my Nerdy on a Budget, I've been sort of doing it low key. I just haven't received a bunch of stuff because I'm still going through Big Bad Toy Store. I'm actually dealing with them a lot more than I thought I would, but they're having holiday sales right now.
Shocker.
Their fall sale is still going on. If you still want to get cool stuff from them, you can. It's for really cheap. It's a lot of stuff. I have very specific things I want. Marvel Legends. I want Master of the Universe figures. I want Star Wars. I want Funko Pops. That's pretty much, but they have many more things if you want to check it out. And if maybe your pockets got more money in it than mine does, you might be able to hook it up. They're also having a Christmas sale. It's not as good, but there's good stuff to be had there. You just gotta really kind of look around daily deals. I think Monday through Friday they post daily deals, so you guys go check them out. They're not sponsoring us. I'm just saying if you want cheap shit, you know where to go. But also, I like to personally hit up Ross Dress for Less, which is a store I've talked about in the past and I've gotten cool stuff out of. And I post about this on Threads, but I'll say it here. They have been sort of a disappointment in the last since November started. We are in the holiday season. They're definitely ramping up their toys. There's a ton of stuff that I don't want. Actual toys to be played with by kids and not figures and collectibles. I know, right?
Excuse me, toys at a toy store?
Shame. Their toy section there's a lot of stuff. Look, if you're looking to get stuff for kids, definitely check them out. But I'm a grown-up that wants collectible toys, as you can see. And they've been sort of disappointing. But this week I did get a win, and I want to show you guys what I got. But before I do that, I also went to the thrift shop and I got a couple of pieces of physical media. I just want to show them off real quick. And one of them is, and I know this is flipped because thanks a lot, Discord, or whatever. Let me see it. Hey, it's the first Star... I can't... Look at the glare. There we go. It's Chris Pine. The first Star Trek from 2009. I cannot... First of all, 2009, I cannot believe that was 16 years ago. But second of all, I love...
What?
Say what you will about J.J. Abrams. But...
I will say a lot.
Look, let's see if I can do a J.J. Abrams thing. There you go. You see it? You see the lens flare?
Now drop it and ruin it for everyone.
That said...
That would be the true JJ thing.
I really freaking love Star Trek 2009. I got the Blu-ray, $2. Dope.
Well, The Force Awakens was good too.
It was
The Rise of Skywalker.
Force Awakens was fine. No, I'll talk about that another time. Also from the same thrift shop, I got Nailbiter Volume 1 for $4. This is Joshua Williamson, about a serial killer that's operating in a place that produced a bunch of serial killers. I'm with it. I'll check that out for $4. So I got my physical media. Now let's talk about toys. Y'all know I love Funko Pops. I got these from Ross. I got from Stranger Things, Dustin. This is from actually the most recent season 4. You see it has thinking cap. That's the hat he's wearing. Really cool. $5. For you Star Wars nerds, here's the one. Look at that. It's Chewie. Let me see if I can get the glare off of it. Chewbacca. This is...
Why is he wearing the outfit of a Praetorian Guard?
This is his Life Day and also it's flocked, so you know it's not shiny.
Oh.
So it's flocked like it's furry. But Life Day, this is his Life Day outfit. Now, Star Wars nerds, y'all know, but if you're not as big on it, Life Day is from that Star Wars holiday special.
Holiday
right?
special.
So that's him in his Life Day. Why's my seat not? My seat doesn't want to cooperate with me. So that was really cool. $5. Now this is the win-win. Now these aren't as cheap as I wanted them to be. They were $10 per figure, but still pretty dang cool. So I got a Masters of the Universe. These are the Masterverse figures, so these are the really good ones. 30 points of articulation. This is Ninjor, right? I understand not everyone knows Master of the Universe that well. Hell, I don't, but I think it's really cool looking. It's a really cool looking figure. Will it come out of the box? Hell no, it's gonna go up. You see the way those are over there? You see those over there? That's how they're gonna go up. It's gonna go on the wall just like that.
Shame.
Also, we got this is the Terror Claws Skeletor. So he's got like these big ass claws, so he can fight He-Man. Another
nice figures.
Who's
making them?
This is This is Mattel Masterverse figures. I already have
awesome.
I have two Masterverse figures already. From last year. These are new ones. But this is the one I was like, oh shit, I got to get this one. A She-Ra. You know, when I was a kid, it was She-Ra and He-Man, right? And She-Ra was the girl-friendly version of He-Man. I don't give a damn. She-Ra's dope. It always has been dope. And I'm so glad I got that figure. And I forgot to show the back of it. Look at, I'm going to try to recreate that if I ever take this out of the box. So cool. Good. I love part of the reason why I don't take these things out of the box is because the boxes are really cool. I don't want to throw those away. I think the way they design the boxes and put all the art and stuff on it, it's really cool. That's part of the reason why I don't get rid of them. I keep them in the box. But also, I don't want them to get dusty and whatever. And another thing is, one day I might be like, you know what? I'll sell it. I'm not super, wedded to the idea of keeping these forever, so I could sell them, and I want to keep them.
The first thing I did when I got the thing that I ordered, which I'll tell you about just a bit later, today, I opened the box and took it out.
How dare you? You know that's
wow.
That's like you took the value of it went down. But if the value is that you like it and you want it to sit on your shelf, cool. You can see I got some of my figures out. All right, there's you can see them over my shoulder. There,
5.
I got like 10 of them, and that's because their boxes don't let them be displayed. That's pretty much the reason. You said you did some nerding on a budget.
I did. So you know that I got some weeks ago. I got this really cool McFarlane Toys Storm, and this week I was at the store and I saw that there is.
Oh shit! Oh, the
Black Panther.
Yeah, nice.
Hell yeah! So I decided that she needs her man.
Okay, that's
perfect.
Boy, you talking about a fire and ice relationship.
Oh yeah, I know. A lot of drama. But he does have this thing with a lot of cats. Apparently, he's
nice.
He likes cats.
That actually reminds me. If you Big Bad Toy Store does ship international, but it's not as cheap to ship international. I just wanted you to know. Right. I saw they had a Miles Morales one that's very similar to that.
Yeah, I know. We have it at our store too. I'm planning on buying it.
How much is it?
Well, it's let me think. Trying to count I can count in euros. How much is it? He's so cool. Look at him.
Yeah, That's why I thought about it because I saw like the Miles Morales, and they had a regular Peter Parker one also. Yes.
Logo here.
Dope.
So cool. So yeah, they are like around 50 euros.
Ooh, that's a lot of money for in American dollars.
Well, because
euros are worth more than $1. Well, €1 is worth more than $1. That's a lot of money. Oh man,
around 42 actually.
Oh, it's all right. Euros used to be more.
Euros.
Oh, 40. Okay, so yeah, so that's like I don't know, $50-$60, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, too rich for my blood. That's not on a budget for me.
Well, that is on a budget here because it's like those are some of the cheapest statues.
Yeah, I got you
here because it's pretty expensive because they order them from abroad.
Yeah,
obviously from like either Europe or America, and then they have this tax and stuff like that. It's like a lot of drama, but the end result is I can afford them and I can display them.
Nice.
And I can take them out of the box, play with them, put them on a shelf, look at them, touch them, which is something that people who keep their toys in boxes and collectibles, they can do that. And I can. And I really enjoy it.
That's fair.
And dust, there is a little thing called duster that you can use on them to clean them.
Sounds like work. But
well, yeah, it is.
Very, very cool. You guys, if y'all did some nerding on a budget, let us know all about it. And maybe, show some pictures. Hit us up on Threads. So that takes us to, you know what it is. It's time for Polly Has Issues. That's right, because, besides the fact that she has issues, she also reads comics for every week and lets us know what she thinks about the comics that she's been reading. So, Polly, what's your issues this week?
This week I have absolutely no issues. No, I'm kidding. Actually, I've been reading some comics, and I haven't been reading the ongoing comics, which I should have been reading. I know, because like events happening, stuff is going on, a lot of drama going on in the Marvel universe. But what did I do? I turned away and I went to read Absolute Universe. Only managed to read 2 trades this week: Absolute Batman and Absolute Superman. So I'm gonna talk about those. Let's start with Absolute Batman. It's obviously, like, many people have already read it, and they talked about it a lot, which made me interested and excited in reading it. Besides, it's a fresh start, so I don't have to read anything to prepare for this. Sounded interesting, sounded appealing. So it's a book by Scott Snyder, obviously, and what it does is flips the whole backstory of Batman, turns it around, like changes everything. It does take away his money, it does take away murder of his parents in the crime alley, and it does take away his butler, which is like, wow, Batman's gonna have to do things on his own for once.
The horror.
Yeah, but it's interesting because it does prove that he doesn't need to have all those things to do the same thing. And in fact, if you think about it, taking them away, especially like taking away his rich, old money origin, it does kind of go in line very well with his whole crusade. Because, and people have been talking about this a lot, like why would a rich white guy even want to fight crime? Because it benefits him and it doesn't make sense. Even considering that his parents were killed. I mean, but in this story, only his father was killed, and it happened during the school trip to the zoo, which ironically Bruce won for the class. Kind of his fault. Yeah, it happened during a shooting that happened in the zoo, and his mother's still alive, and she works for Mayor Gordon, who is, of course, Jim Gordon, but a mayor now. And Alfred, on the other hand, he is not necessarily like they don't know each other, and Alfred works for some secret organization, which I'm not sure it was covered in the first trade. But he's kind of like he comes and goes to Gotham and like on other missions around the world. So it's probably Argus, something like that. And he doesn't know Bruce in particular, but he's kind of invited to Gotham to stop him or to deal with whatever's going on, the big problem. And the big problem is actually Black Mask, which is an interesting choice for the first bad guy to be introduced in this run. You expect it normally to be Joker, probably, or some of his more well-known enemies. But surprisingly, in this version, he had this group of childhood friends that included Riddler, Two-Face, Selina Kyle, of course, and Penguin. And I think there was someone else, maybe even Joker. I'm not sure. But still very interesting choice. And obviously the book deals with it's a bit more relevant than maybe even ongoing Batman run in general, because it does and combines the things that people hate the most right now, like regular people. It combines capitalism in its rapid stages, the all-consuming capitalism, the rich people, money, cryptocurrency, all of that, and it does put it in the hands of the bad guys, and obviously makes these bad guys control everyone else. So pretty much the standard story for a comic book, only maybe a bit more obvious, and the crusade stays the same regardless. But it is impressive, and it is kind of very interesting. I'm not even sure right now whether I like this version more or the original version more. What I can say is that this version seems way more believable. Because when we read Batman, we're still reading this character who was he was created many years ago, like decades ago, in the last century. So in some ways he does still represent that century. This character is a little more modern.
What's that? Is he woke Batman?
Is he what?
Woke Batman.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah. And as far as I know, in the next books, he's gonna become even more woke, because we know that we discussed that he beat up some cops and Nazis.
Sounds like a win to me.
Well, people got upset. And I'm sure that there are some more traditional Batman fans who will be upset by this version too, but it's pretty cool. And kind of proves an interesting point that you can take essential things that you believe to be essential from a character, and it would still be the same character. This kind of proves it. The other one I managed to read, I was hoping to be able to fit into this week. Absolute Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Green Lantern. Green Lantern, of course, it's a very especially interesting book for me, but only managed to read Batman and Superman and a bit of Wonder Woman, so I won't get into that. Also because I haven't read any Wonder Woman comics before that, so nothing to compare to. But regarding Superman, again, a book by Jason Aaron, and it also does flip the backstory of the character by taking away what we know about him. So he was not sent. Damn it! He was not sent to Earth without knowing his parents. He spent the first years of his life with his parents, and he knows exactly what happened on Krypton, why it was destroyed. But he didn't have the family background and the Kent farm. I mean, he had bits of that, but it wasn't really his family in the sense that we came to know. And he, knowing that and knowing exactly what happened on Krypton, he kind of comes to Earth, and he recognizes the same patterns. Basically destroying their own planet by capitalism.
The ultimate villain.
So yes, more or less the same idea, because in this version, Krypton was, I guess it was drained of its resources, and it was destabilized, and then the rich spent a lot of time trying to shut down all conversation, all any kind of information being spread about what's going on. But instead they kept everything quiet, and they built a ship, took everyone rich, and tried to get off the planet. Of course, they did not succeed. Spoiler alert. Yeah. So obviously, when Superman gets to Earth, he recognizes the same patterns, because in this version of Earth, they have this Lazarus Corp. Obviously, led by obvious people. They have this Lazarus Corporation, which is doing the same thing, like exploiting people, spreading misinformation, using censorship in its interests, using peacemakers, those same peacemakers. And Lois is one of this. I guess they police force or something, military maybe. So she's one of them, and the only thing that ties her to journalism is actually the fact that she likes to write her own reports, which is ironically something that Clark likes to do too. Like on his planet. What?
No, I'm just like, you painting a picture, because I'm like, I need to find out what the fuck happened to Lois Lane. Now I gotta know what this.
That's
Can I, if I may interject? It is wild to me that Absolute and Ultimate, the new Ultimate Universe, were running at the same time, and they both are working on the same conceit of, let's drastically change the origin stories of these people and see how their heroism still comes to the fore. Because that's crazy. Like, I knew Absolute Batman was much different. That's not Superman as we know and understand him. The
thing is, it can be, and
it's
crazy. Just used a little different, but those qualities that we know Superman to have, he does have them.
I'm just saying, but you haven't even finished your review. You sold me. I'm gonna go fucking read Absolute Superman. Like, I gotta see what's up with this.
It is very interesting. It does have all this actual relevant commentary, just like Batman. It's a story about capitalism. It's a story about AI. It's a story about destroying the planet that you have. It's a lot of interesting topics. And yes, it's woke as hell. People are gonna be mad. But what did you expect? The fact that so far, really, the fact that I liked about Absolute Universe is that everything is different, but yet it's still the same. And yes, the characters can have a different backstory. They still will be the same people, and it still would be the same qualities that make them these heroes.
That's really. I mean, I think that's dope. Honestly, so I definitely, apparently, I gotta read it whenever I gotta find some time to read it. I spent my time running through Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, and shoot, I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go check them out from the library. I got you.
And regarding Wonder Woman, I haven't finished the first trade just yet, but it kind of follows the same path. Changes her backstory, keeps but like I said, I don't have a lot of stuff to compare her to, but it does seem like it's gonna be commenting on the same relevant stuff, like probably military, and I don't know. We'll see. It's just really interesting what they're doing right now, and yeah, it kind of feels like similar to Ultimate. I guess it's gonna take like approximately the same amount of time, and they will close it down at some point.
Well, my understanding is that they have no plans to stop the Absolute line, so I think it's probably as long as it's still popular enough and selling. I just love the idea that they're just like, you know what, this is maybe the shot in the arm that this needs. Like, if they are going to cater to us older fans, give us something else. You know, stop. Well, good. We've been playing in the same fucking sandbox forever. Let's throw some new toy. Let's throw some new toys in there and like remix this shit. You know, let's see something else. Let's see if you have a multiverse. Show us an actual multiverse. Don't show us a riff on something we already know. Like complete. You know how like you were talking or somebody, were you or somebody else was? I think it was you. I was like, well, I have to build a figure, you know, Marvel Legends, but I don't have the whole line. So you were like, all right, well, make a Frankenstein monster, and I'm like, actually, you're onto something. That might actually be the way. Maybe that's what they're doing. They're like, let's tear it down and then put it together in a way that no one's expecting, and like really stretch out. I find that like,
and it's not necessarily what no one's expecting, because regarding Batman, these are the things that people were talking about.
Yeah, they're critical.
They were talking about it a lot, and they even took away part of his money in the mainstream universe. He's not a billionaire, he's a millionaire, and I think at some point he was even broke.
Even that's not even all that interesting, because they do that to Tony Stark every 7.5, 10 years.
Stark, they loses his money a lot.
They did that. Danny Rand lost his whole corp. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think it's more interesting that Bruce Wayne ain't never been rich. Never been rich. He's just been a working class dude, and he's gonna like throw on.
People said that he was like working class dude, but it's something that in Soviet Union, working class was like people who worked with their hands, and that would probably be like Kal-El was. A child of the working class, and specifically that S on his chest is specifically the sign of this working class group of people. But Bruce is the child of a teacher and a government employee. Like his mother was working in some social services. Yeah.
I think
intelligence. It was kind of like intelligence is what they called it in Soviet Union, but it's of course a different meaning. But it's like intellectual class.
Right. Well, I like that. Well, I've always liked the idea of Clark having that kind of working class background. So he's a lot, and they go into it in the Superman movie, and they subtly hint at it without telling you exactly about it. That whole, I think I said it on Threads, where his dad talks about going to a new taco place with Hector and the guys, and that's a subtle hint that these are farm workers, or at least they could be farm workers or something. You know what I'm saying? These are people that work with their hands for a living. That's what they do. And Clark having that background is super important. It's important because in the context,
and he still does.
Well,
he still does, but from his biological parents.
Right. Well, in the context of the original, in the 30s, that Siegel and Schuster put together, he's a working class hero. He's a Superman, but he's a working class hero because he's a hero for the people living in tenements and people that work in factories, and he has that farm. So he's closer to the people. And the problem with Batman was that he wasn't close to the people. He's a child of privilege. He grew up in privilege. He has a butler. He has all this stuff. And taking that away from him and even if his mom's a teacher, in America, a mom that's a teacher, she's a professional, but she's not making a ton of money, especially if that's the only person making money for the household.
His father was a teacher.
I'm sorry. But
his father was a teacher in his class, and somehow Bruce turned out to be like genius. I don't know.
His mom being a social worker, his dad being a teacher, that's they're a professional class, but they're not like making buku money. They're still about on the same level as the farmers. And then that's where a lot of radicalization can come from too, because at least in the black community in America, teachers and like even college professors, but school teachers and people that work for the government, they're the core of organizations like the NAACP, like for these kind of social justice organizations, because they're on the ground level, because they're not making a ton of money, but they're educated, so they can see where all of these things are kind of pulling them and their community down, and can kind of organize. They are intelligent enough to organize and bring everybody together, but they can talk to people of the working class. It's like it makes so much fucking sense. I not kidding. I don't know if you can hear my voice. I'm fucking excited. I need to go read these. Like on the real, I need to read these because it sounds like they decided to be really smart about this, and also that sounds to me like there's a court of owls sort of situation going on. Like because that was Snyder's deal. It sounds like a court of owl situation.
Yeah. I'm one of my favorite stories, by the way. And not only it does sound like that, but it does. I think that it's one of the few comics that takes the things that we talk about every day, that we talk about online, that like you see people posting about as a problem, and he does paint it into a picture that it's kind of similar to what we live in, but it's also different, but recognizable. So it's very well done, and it's very interesting, and it's very relevant.
It sounds good. So, if you guys have read these, let us know. Let us know how you feel about the Absolute comics. So we are going to move on to our regular stuff, which is we're going to talk about the news. Not a ton of news this week, but that's okay. We're going to have plenty of opinions about them. On today's show, we're going to talk about Lanterns gets an update on its release. Sadie Sink, there's some news about where she's going to land in the MCU. We get a new look at Wonder Man that's coming out in January. A little background about Man of Steel and Zack Snyder and Christopher Nolan. Snyder stands.
All the Snyderverse we need is Absolute Universe. That's it.
I'm just gonna say that actually. Zack Snyder stands. Buckle up. Also, we're gonna talk a little bit about what's eventually gonna be the sale of Warner Brothers. At some point in the future, who could get a hold of all of that? And then we have a couple of viewer questions. So lots of good stuff. So Polly, you ready to get into this?
Hell yeah.
All right, well, let's go. So, sad news, or maybe not sad news, but, not unexpected to me. Lanterns, the Green Lantern show for HBO has been delayed to late summer. It was supposed to come out early in 2026. So now they moved it to basically third quarter of 2026. Which I find interesting because that it kind of puts it in an interesting place, because if I'm not mistaken, Supergirl comes out is it July? I want to say Supergirl comes out in July.
I don't remember.
I think that's right. So basically, no new DCU stuff until Supergirl, and then Lantern's gonna follow up. Late summer is basically August, right? So pretty much we're going to get a couple of DC things back to back. Fine. Why is this happening? I think that post-production is probably what's at play here. That and it's possible they need some pickups, because they just finished shooting this maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. So they just finished shooting. It may have been 2 weeks ago. They did the final day of shooting on this. So this could potentially just be the fact that, hey, the lag time, the time between end of shooting and end of post-production, it's just not enough. This is, after all, I'm assuming it's going to be a 7 to 8 hour show, and it needs post-production because Green Lanterns are going to be, they're not just going to be walking around like in plain clothes all day. They're gonna have to actually put on suits at some point. You know, shoot some green lasers,
or they
make
could do a
giant
Madam
fists.
Web.
What? That's the byword for never
And
being
not
never
have them in costume.
Yeah, I think what's going on there is, it's basically, this is just a lag in lag time and post production, and they're just giving themselves more time because they said early 2026. I don't think a turnaround on I don't think a 4 month turnaround on post production on a show like this makes any sense. Not when an actual movie, which is only about 2.5 hours, needs something like 9 to 12 months of post production. So I see this. This makes sense to me. Are you bothered by this? Does this bother you at all, or
Really not, because first of all, I'm never bothered by postponement. Sometimes it's needed. It's better to have finished product and something that's really, really that people really paid attention to. That they changed the way they view it, to suit their vision. The creators, I mean. I hope that, like, if they need additional photography, like additional special effects, anything, let them have it. Don't complain much because, like, at the end of the day, you're still getting the product. It's just gonna be finished. It's gonna be like better, hopefully. And so far, everything we've gotten from DC so far was pretty great. So I have no reason to expect anything less.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not bothered by delays. It's not like to be honest, I hadn't even set in my mind when the hell this was coming out. I just knew in the coming year. So I'm not disappointed.
Excited again a week before the release, or like a few days before the release, because that's when I get excited about things. I'm mostly excited, like moderately excited to see Wicked at this point, and that's it.
Moderate.
It's gonna grow, as we get closer to the release date. It's gonna grow, the feeling, but I try to keep my expectations pretty low and not think about things. Otherwise, I'd go crazy waiting for X-Men 97 season 2.
That's true.
Like X-Men 98.
Yeah, with X-Men 97, that 1 year in X-Men 97 is gonna last for 7 years. For this, like, they hadn't even done a trailer yet. Like, really, principal photography just finished. I'm not surprised by this. I'm not disappointed. I want them to cook. I want them to be ready. I want a good product when it comes out. So
well done product. Not a medium rare.
Not undercooked at all. Not a half baked. Not Madam Webbed. So, like, please, by all means, take the time you need to make it good. So we're just going to be patient.
Just not too much time, so it wouldn't be, it can't be Madam Web, but it shouldn't be Snyder cut.
Yeah, that's true. And also, I didn't think about it till just now. That just means we're going to have another superhero summer. Let's go.
We're ready.
Superhero Summer 2025 was really good. I want 2026 to be just as good. So y'all cook, and we're going to check it out. Hopefully drop a trailer in the next couple months. We'll see. And we'll talk about it then. This isn't even a rumor. I think Variety said this. And I was like, okay, no shit. But then I realized they weren't talking about Brand New Day. So they're talking about Sadie Sink is going to be in London to film Secret Wars. And this was, by the way, let me tell you, this was such a out of the kind of a side little comment in a article that was about Sadie Sink being in a play. Well, apparently she's quite a theater nerd. She loves doing live theater, so I'm like, cool, good for her. Love to see it. Love to see that. I think she's really good. Like, I don't know if you've seen her outside of Stranger Things. She's quite good. And I'm glad to see that. Like, she's just like, upping her game as far as her career is concerned. But they were like, also she's going to be in London and she's going to shoot for the next Avengers movie, which we know is not Doomsday, because if they haven't started shooting yet, it's got to be Avengers Secret Wars, right? And also remember the turnaround on from because Doomsday is still shooting right now. They're still working on it right now.
I think they're doing additional photography.
Yeah, or did that? I don't think they did not wrap principal photography. That's the thing.
I think they didn't they.
As far as I know, they have not wrapped principal photography. Now I could be
think
wrong.
they went to additional.
I could be wrong. It is, and this is about 9 months away, so maybe they have wrapped, and I'm forgetting. But there's no way she's going to be in that. That's too late, right? So they're saying she's going to be in Secret Wars.
You know what? I don't know if they shouldn't really if they're doing additional photography, and I think that they are. Then it would be it kind of does make sense. It could be a post-credit scene.
Well, I'm thinking this is Secret Wars and not Doomsday. Even though Spider-Man obviously is going to be in Doomsday, I'm thinking it is mainly because they're talking about her. This is not filming soon. This is at the beginning of the year, so that will make sense. That because remember when Endgame and Infinity War and Endgame, they knew they were making
back
them.
To back, yeah.
So they shot them back to back. They had a 2 or 3 because they shot it, stopped for the holidays, and then resumed filming, and then they filmed in Endgame, and they filmed Endgame in 2018, right? Mm-hmm. So this is a similar situation where they're going right into it after the holidays. So I think that this does indicate that it is Secret Wars. But this raises the question, because they have yet to answer it. Who the hell is she in the MCU? Who is she playing? People keep wanting, because she's redheaded, I understand. They want her to be the real MJ.
That ain't gonna happen.
And by the way, don't think we don't get the racist bullshit off of that. Don't think we don't notice
You know what? Eventually we're gonna talk about Spider-Man No Way Home and was it No Way Home?
It was No Way Home, yeah.
Far From Home. Yeah, it's No Way Home. And I'm gonna go on a long rant about how they took everything that racists didn't like about this Spider-Man from him. And I remember that. Forgetting about that.
Well, did you see they were showing fan interactions on the set of Brand New Day with Zendaya and Tom Holland, which is cool. Look, Zendaya is in it. We know it for sure. So that's the MJ. I think we talked about it before about who could she be, and it's always some redheaded, what's another redheaded character?
Wigs and hair dye don't exist.
Yeah, as if.
But if you want a redheaded and redheaded character from Spider-Man, Firestar. Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
I think Firestar would be dope, but they aren't putting mutants in yet, so we don't know.
First of all, and second of all, I don't think that Firestar would be the first mutant they put in.
Yeah, I actually would love if it was Firestar. I would love if she was Jackpot. I always thought Jackpot was an interesting character. That was I think Dan Slott introduced her. I like Jackpot, especially because everyone's like, "Is MJ a superhero?" No, it's a different person. Everybody redheaded is not Mary Jane Parker or Mary Jane Watson. Excuse me. There's also, look, again, you're right. Wigs do exist. She could be Silver Sable. She could be Black Cat. She could be somebody. They were saying some other character that I don't know from maybe a more recent run of Spider-Man. Who knows? She could be. They're like she could be Mayday Parker from an alternate future. No, I'm gonna say no to that. I don't. I like Mayday. I like May Parker or whatever. No, because then now you're introducing multiversal shit, which means that when it's all tied up with the nice ribbon at the end of Secret Wars, she'll cease to exist. So no.
You know what? She doesn't necessarily have to be someone from Spider-Man's side of things, because we have Spider-Man who has a lot of people showing up in his story for some reason, like Bruce Banner, like Punisher. He has a whole crowd.
Yeah.
She could be anyone.
Typhoid
like
Mary.
literally anyone, and it would be. Oh, wouldn't that be cool? Not really, because there's a huge age difference between Mary and like.
Yeah, but this
Daredevil
is
and
the
Kingpin.
MCU. It's the MCU. Who knows?
Creepy.
Who knows?
Anyway, what I was trying to say is that. God, do you remember that actress who shot a post-credit scene with Tony Stark after Endgame?
The post, you said after Endgame, a post-credit?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Or it was like during Endgame. Who played his daughter when she grew up?
Yeah.
And got cut.
Right, and they got cut. Yeah.
Could be one of these things.
Oh yeah, it was a cut scene from when he was seeing, like, when he snapped and he's talked to his future daughter. Yeah. Which was, I wish they would. Anyway, we can litigate that another time. Look, honestly, this is fun to speculate. I just love that they're tripling down on Sadie Sink. Because the MCU has been needing to invest in the younger characters for 5-6 years now. They've been needing to act, because we know they can. Look, Ruffalo is not going to keep coming back. I mean, seriously.
They're gonna shoot like an episode or something with her, and then by the time they're gonna actually use her, she's gonna be like 40.
Yeah,
so it's kind of now investing in the future, not in the younger characters necessarily.
Here's the question. Somebody put Madeline Pryor, and I was like, y'all, look, chill out. chill.
Yeah, if it's not Jean Grey, it better be Madeline Pryor, right?
Like, y'all chill out.
Like, they don't look alike.
Even though, if they got Sadie Sink to be young Jean Grey, I wouldn't be mad about it. I wouldn't. I'd be like,
no, I wouldn't.
Okay, let's go.
At first, like the first time somebody brought it up that she would make good Jean Grey, I was like, and then I kept looking at her, and she kept like showing up on different news articles and stuff, and I started thinking it really does look good. Like, she really does look like Jean Grey, and she definitely could pull it off, which I have no doubts about.
Let's just be reminded, just because she's redheaded, that's like whenever there's a new, like, if there's a black woman, you're like, what black woman character could she be in the MCU? I'm like, y'all, just expand your mind. She could be literally any white woman in Marvel Comics, because, as you said, wigs and hair.
But it's gonna be Storm like 10 times. Hopefully not Sadie Sink. They're gonna say Storm.
Yeah, that's all. That's all I'm saying. Like, let's not pigeonhole this. She could be Gwen Stacy for all we know. So, like, we've already seen a redhead be Gwen Stacy. She can do it too. We'll see. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on this. Very cool. And we'll let you guys know if any more information comes out. Speaking of the MCU and the future of the MCU, we got this is real quick. The only reason why I want to talk about this, we only got a picture, and it's Trevor Slattery looking very dapper in this little velour coat he's got on, talking to Simon Williams. That's what the picture is. Okay, fine, whatever. I'm more interested in what Yahya Abdul-Mateen had to say about, what Wonder Man is about. And he says the show talks about explicitly. It's a show that is self-aware and is talking to the camera without talking to the camera. So it's not gonna break fourth wall, but it's gonna be like, yeah, MCU fans and comic book movie fans, we know. You got superhero fatigue. You got, you're tired of this. You've said this, that, and the other. We're gonna talk about it. But also, as I have said many times before since they announced this show is very clearly one of those things that Hollywood loves to do. Hollywood loves to navel gaze. They love talking about, oh man, what is it like to produce TV or movies? boy, what is it like being working behind the scenes? What's it like trying to be an actor? And Simon Williams, from this moment they said they were going to do this, I was like, that's exactly what this show should be. What the fuck is it like in the MCU to be an actor? Yeah, I got superhero powers. I could be an Avenger, but I could be a movie star too, because Simon Williams, famously in the comics, that's what he wanted to do. You know, yeah, I can go around and beat the shit out of Skrulls, but also I want my face up in lights. You know, I want my name on, I want my face on a billboard. I want to be on Letterman or whatever, late night with whatever. And so seeing how that works in the MCU was cool, but also, like I said, they just love talking about themselves. So that seems to be what they're leaning. He literally says it's they're leaning into the whole idea of, you know, of what's it like for an actor. You know, what's the life of an actor like in the MCU. I feel like this is something I want to watch, but I don't know. Do you think that's going to land with regular people, or that want to see pew pew and you know, they're still like, I miss when Phase 3 and Endgame and everything.
I'm not sure that it's gonna land well with regular people, but mostly because I don't expect, like, in general, I don't expect fans to be happy. But it's a great idea, and I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see what it's gonna look like and what the story is gonna be like, how it's gonna take a look at superheroes and whatever it is they do, references, or like how it works in general, because we see a lot of you know, glimpses of hero life and everyday life of heroes. The closest thing we got to it so far was She-Hulk, because she wanted to be an attorney, not a superhero. And it's kind of the same idea, and that's kind of why I think that this show is a very dangerous line that they're walking in terms of, you know, pleasing every fan. But I personally am excited to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting that they still haven't shown him do any superhero shit. This, like, I think in the main trailer, because we've only gotten a teaser trailer really so far. I think when we get the actual trailer, we're gonna see him do the superhero shit, because that's how you know, get the MCU fans to be like, okay, what is this?
Sure.
And they also have quite an uphill battle, because, you know, before in the MCU, when they've been like, oh, we're making a movie about, you know, Ant-Man. Well, then some of us could be like, oh, yeah, well, you guys don't really know Ant-Man, but let me explain what, you know, you could get people to sort of like invest. Wonder Man is like D-list, right? Like Kamala Khan would be, I love her, is basically a C-list hero. Not super well known. He's below that, right? He's a D-list hero. He's below Ironheart. I'm, like it or not, nerds, people know Ironheart more than they know Wonder Man. In fact, if you say Wonder Man, they're like, what, is he a DC character? Literally, I've heard people say shit like that. They do not know who he is. They have got to sit, if you
but
want.
But they're going to be mad that the black actress.
Yeah, this character that they don't know about, but they're all of a sudden really, really upset about.
Super fans.
Yeah, the race swapping is going to be super important, even though they don't know who the fuck this character is. So that, I mean, on one hand, that's a good thing, because it's going to expose a lot of people for their foolishness. But they've got, in order to, like, I'm really, really hoping that this is awesome. I'm really hoping it lands like, you know, some of these other shows that are about making making Hollywood product. But boy, they had better get the right mix of superheroics and commentary, because they're gonna lose people. Ironheart lost people, and I think first of all, I think Ironheart's great, but they didn't quite know what the fuck was going on, right? They barely, you know, not a lot of people saw, and not as many people saw Wakanda Forever as they should have. They weren't quite sure what was going on, and it kind of, some people lost the plot. I think Wonder Man could lose the plot even more, because of just like he's coming from nowhere. He's essentially coming out of nowhere. So this has got to be on point. I'm hoping. I feel good about it. And also Yahya Abdul-Mateen, super talented. I think he's super talented. He's got a great look. Once they animate him doing superhero shit, I'm sure it'll be dope. Especially when he does the red eyes. At some point, that should be cool. It will be even better. They're not going to, but it will be cool if somehow they could work Wanda Maximoff in there. But they're not going to. I get it. But it would be
cool. But it would have been great.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm excited about this. This is coming out in January. We're gonna keep an eye on it, and hopefully that a real trailer, a full trailer, comes out within the next month, and we'll talk about it then. So that moves on to, it's time for this. You know what? I don't even like to call this dunking on Snyder stands. That's not fair. They didn't do this, but I really would like to hear what they got to say about this story, because I think it's a reflection of what I consider to be a shortcoming of Zack Snyder. Now, Christopher Nolan, of course, did the Dark Knight trilogy, very celebrated trilogy of Batman movies. Had some pretty good ideas about how to make DC stuff work in live action. Pretty successful. Also, let's not forget Interstellar, Memento. He's more recently, he's got an Oscar for what was it, Oppenheimer. So like the guy knows some shit. He is a great director, one of the great modern directors, most definitely. And so basically, he was an executive producer on I believe he's an executive producer on damn near all of the DCEU movies, but he definitely was on Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. But he was more hands-on apparently as a producer on Man of Steel. So this story goes that Zack Snyder says that he and his writing partner on the movie wanted to kill Zod. And Nolan was like, absolutely not. Don't do that. Like, that basically betrays the character of Superman if he does that. There's no way you can make it make sense if we're talking about Superman. Don't do that. And then rather than being like, you know what? This is a great story maker and filmmaker. He's one of our greats. I think and by the way, mind you, Christopher Nolan, if he doesn't write, he co-writes his movies, right? So he's intimately involved with the narrative. All right. Well, maybe we should listen to him. Maybe we should. Nope. They were like, I'll take this as a challenge. We're going to kill Zod and we're going to make it make sense and also not ruin the character of Clark Kent, aka Superman, Kal-El. Yeah, we're going to do it. And they do it. So they ignored the note from Nolan, do it anyway. And what happens? It's one of the most controversial fucking story decisions in all of comic book movie or TV show history. Straight up. It is one of the most divisive story moments in all of comic book movies and all of comic book TV. Hell, comic books in general. But for real, there are so many, like to this day, if you mention that shit, there's two things that in Man of Steel that will divide the fandom. It's don't save me. Oh, 3, I guess. Don't save that group. Why did you save that school bus of kids? Don't save me, right? And then snapping Zod's neck. And
there's also the question of whether it's a good movie or not.
Well, I mean,
very controversial.
But those are moments that particular moment of deciding to kill Zod, even while it makes sense. Like, I will admit, it makes sense when you understand that Zod isn't gonna stop. Like he says himself, I am going to keep at it and I'll kill everybody. Right? Basically saying, you gotta kill me first. Right? I get it. Pragmatically, it makes sense. This guy ain't gonna stop and he has got the power of a god. And look,
isn't it literally the plot of every comic book ever?
Yeah.
This guy is not stopping. He's gonna come back in 10 issues and try the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be there to stop him.
It essentially, I think that moment, that moment betrays what Superman ultimately is or should be, because Superman doesn't take the easy way out. He never does. But also, I think that if you've watched the whole movie, it is completely in keeping with the Jonathan Kent who raised this guy. That Jonathan Kent that can tell you it's okay to not save a bus full of kids so you can keep your secret safe, and it's okay to not save me, even though it's
Clark, doable. What you need to learn in this life is to let people die.
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes people just die. Just let them, okay?
And that Jonathan Kent essentially sets up a situation where it's okay to snap Zod's neck. It's, because that Jonathan Kent doesn't say, hey, you've got to wrestle with the fact that you have the power to save everyone, but you don't have the time to save everyone. So you got to pick and choose, versus just choose not to, because it could be dangerous if people find out who you are. That's not Superman. And people have rightly been for years. This came out in 2016. It's damn near 10 years ago. Since then, people have been debating this and really going after Man of Steel because of that moment where he decides that, no, I have to kill this guy. In the comics, I get it. It's fanciful. But if you think that it's weird that it's fanciful for Clark to come up with a better way, but also you don't mind him flying around and shooting lasers and having ice breath, I think you need to figure out where you want to draw the line at reality, because a lot of this shit is not reality. This choice in the comics, Superman does it all the time. He figures out a way to not have to kill people because he knows he can.
It's very ironic that we just this year we got the movie when he was trying to save the kaiju in the city because he wanted to release it somewhere in a safe environment. And this guy, but Madam Web is looking good right now. Huh?
Anyway, that was a lot of setup, I know, and we are discussing it, but I just think it's fucking weird that he ignores Christopher Nolan's very reasonable assessment of the dilemma about I think it's weird. I think it's weird because a writer is they're a problem solver. Why aren't you? This is a problem. You've presented a really hard to solve problem. Zod, admittedly, he's a monster. He's a menace. He is a hard to solve problem in that situation. How do you fix it? And the most intelligent thing you came up with is the easy way, and that's not Superman. Anyway, I just he ignored Nolan. That's wild to me, and it also says
that is so not wild. Imagine if some, I don't know, if there was a woman telling him to not do that.
He would have ignored Kathleen Kennedy, who is one of the best producers that's ever made movies.
Exactly. That's not surprising when a white man doesn't want to listen. It's not surprising.
To another preeminent white man, though. That's great. That dude, come on.
Especially.
It's
because it's a measuring contest at this point.
Doesn't this puts into relief I think people were I forget on Threads I forgot what's her name out the Ray of Water, I always forget her name, but whatever, was talking about how Zack Snyder basically when he's given free reign fucks it up. When he doesn't have an active producer that keeps him in check. Because when he's in check, he's got he got a tight leash on him. He makes good stuff. When he's not free to do whatever, when he actually
what?
Well, I still probably my favorite movie of his is Dawn of the Dead. That wasn't his story. That was James Gunn's story. He wasn't free to just do whatever on it. But also, I honestly think Watchmen's pretty good. I think I mean,
again, not his story.
So when he's given free reign like Rebel Moon, garbage.
Oh my god, that was so bad. Why did you even bring it up?
It's just
Madam Web is looking good right now.
I guess I just don't understand.
Rebel Moon was such a pile of garbage.
Remember Christopher Nolan's movies prior to Man of Steel were considered like, great cinema. He elevated comic book movies with The Dark Knight. Like, that's what I'm saying. How could you just...
Well, and Zack Snyder brought them back down.
It's also like he took it as a challenge to be like, well, I'm going to do this anyway. Why? Why would
More power to him. I mean, I don't know.
It's...
no.
It's like Zack... If he had lived... I think... Look, there are other missteps in that movie. But listening to Nolan...
Very generous of you to call them missteps.
Well, I mean, like, like, Jonathan Kent was done dirty in Man of Steel, to be fair. Even though there are a couple moments where I'm like, okay, that's the one I know. But if he had made this one change, if he had listened to Nolan on this part and come up with a more creative way that is more reflective of Superman as a character, I think Man of Steel improves dramatically.
See, the thing is that he did not understand Superman in general, and I don't think that he understood any of the characters really that he was trying to work with.
And it's not just him, because he was co-writing the screenplay. So that I think in a way, and Man of Steel sets the tone for the DCEU. And that moment, I don't want to place all of the blame on that moment, but that's such a formative, moment in the DCEU that I think, unfortunately, reflects on the rest of the story. It makes it more grim, dark, and makes it less like a bright and hopeful DC universe, and more of a just like what if Superman shines his bright light on the rest of the world. It's like more like what if Batman's Gotham City casts its shadow on the rest of the DC universe, and it's not. It shows. I think unfortunately it does show. This is a moment I wish he had taken the note and taken it to heart, and as a writer gone back and figured it out, and I think it would have improved the DCEU in general. So either way,
lucky for us, we have the DCU we deserve now.
Yeah. Man of Steel, for what it was cool, but like that's a weird narrative idea, and I wish he had done better. But either way, I thought it was interesting. I just wanted to make my comment on it. So moving on to our final bit of news for the day. More ranting on my part. I'm sorry, guys. This is just gonna happen. You know me, anti-capitalist and blah, blah, blah. Warner Brothers Discovery is going to soon become just Discovery, and then Warner Brothers is going to be sold to somebody. And it sucks. The continued, acquisition of companies by other big companies is terrible. We're moving into that idiocracy time where there's a bunch of conglomerations of a bunch of different like mega corporations, and they're all putting out crap. We're heading to that moment. This is gonna Warner Brothers Discovery. They're like, hey, and I believe today is the deadline for deals, and we're getting kind of like some details about these potential offers. Coming from Netflix, coming from Paramount, Skydance Paramount, and then coming from Comcast, who is Comcast Universal, basically. And let me tell you, I hate being in the world where I've got to root for any of these motherfuckers. But I think I'm rooting for Comcast, but definitely not Paramount, Skydance. And it's because right now what we are witnessing is the right wing in America, but right wing corporatists trying to suck up all of the media companies they can so that they can control the narrative. You know, we've heard for years about liberal Hollywood and they're trying to indoctrinate. So they're like, well, let's get in there and start controlling what they do. So you get Larry Ellison's son David, who is cut from the same cloth, and they love Trump and everything like that. And by the way, Trump's putting his finger on the scale, as he's basically indicating that he's going to make it very hard for anybody except Paramount to get this to go through. And also, let's recall, David Zaslav likes him some Trump. Don't be fooled by any of this. All of these motherfuckers that run these corporations, they are by and large right-wing white men. So they're all rubbing shoulders with the same people. And another wrinkle is that apparently the Saudi royal family, or at least some people were associated with them, big money Saudis, are also throwing their money into the ring here. Potentially, as I understand, with Paramount, that, hey, they're going to be a major player up to maybe the partnership of up to, a third of the ownership and everything like that. Which means it's not just that we get the, far right people having control of major studio. They already control Paramount, the Ellisons do, controlling another major studio. So we get far right wing pro MAGA shit going. But also the Saudis, which are bad. They're bad. These, like the Saudi royal family, they got a lot of money and they're trying to throw their weight around. So they would be in control of what sort of output this studio would have. And that, by the way, this merger would be, so basically Skydance would get yet another one. So they'd have Paramount, and Comcast getting it isn't necessarily better, but it's somewhat better. They're nominally a bit more independent, but they are also talking about potential Saudi investment. And the only other one that's on the table is Netflix, and who the fuck knows where they're getting their money from, right? This is a shit show, in my opinion, because it's got DC. We have to care about it because this is DC Studios. How much interference would they get? How much? Because yeah, James Gunn and Peter Safran have a lot of latitude about what they produce, but that they work for somebody. Zaslav has given them not free reign, but a fairly slack leash, so to speak, right now. But that could really fucking change, depending on who owns Warner Brothers. I hate all of this. I want to rant some more, but Polly, I'm not even saying don't talk me off the ledge. There is no talking off the ledge. We are, this sucks. This is horrible, and I cannot be positive about this at all. We're choosing between arsenic, cyanide, and strychnine, and they're all bad, but one of them will kill us in a more pleasant way than the other. So which one are we gonna get? I hate it.
Probably morphine.
I wish it would be morphine.
No. I don't know. I really have no idea because, I see what is happening. I see what some people are trying to make happen actively, but in my opinion, I'm not sure that it's gonna work the way they expect it to work. Because divine intervention or something. I don't know. I'm hopeful that somehow it will resolve itself, because that's about all influence that I have on the situation. Mm-hmm. So I try not to dwell on it, because really zero influence in general.
Yeah.
If it's something that's not as terrible as the worst option, I'll be fine with that. But
it's all terrible.
I don't know.
It's weird that Netflix is the least bad out of these. I'm not kidding. They are the least bad. You know how fucked up the situation has to be for Netflix to be the least bad option? at least with Netflix, you know, they'll be canceling shit left and right, but like there is clear uh ideological, you know, influence at play here. It is clear as day. They're not even trying to pretend like that's not what's going on. We've been seeing it since the beginning of the year, late last year, the beginning of the year, that not just bowing the knee to Trump, but explicitly trying to become propaganda arms for him is what's going on here. And we know this shit is going on. He just had the Saudi prince at the fucking White House. This is like as clear as day an attempt to kind of gain control of what media is, you know, the media outlets and what's made. So this is, and outside of superhero stuff, this is going to influence what movies and what TV shows and what everything gets made. And I'm telling you, it's going to be worse. All of this diversity and interesting stuff that's happening, it's going to fucking go away. And like we thought it was because, oh, they're just, you know, they are acquiescing in advance, you know, just voluntarily. No, this is going to be from the top. So when Trump was complaining about Parasite winning the Oscar, now he's going to have some real influence on what the fuck Paramount does, because Larry Ellison, David Ellison, they have a lot. They're the money people. They're at the top of the chart. And as usual, like think of it this way. We were talking about faith-based movies last week when we were shit talking Zachary Levi. You know the problem. One of the main reasons why faith-based movies are trash is because they put fronting their ideology over making something good, like a good, interesting story.
Which is ironically exactly what these same people blame woke movies of doing.
That it's, you know, their problem is that right-wing movies and TV shows by and large are garbage, because their aim is to proselytize and propagandize and not tell a good fucking story. So that's where we're headed to, is like the faith-based situation. Now look, I could be Chicken Little right now talking, you know, the sky is falling and everything. I'm just saying, what has it ever been a good thing when right-wing ideologues take over media? Has it ever been good? Point to me a time when it's been good. Fox News, Newsmax, all of that shit is horrible. And that's because the right wings took it over for ideological reasons. I love it when they're like, let's make money. Because at least then they're agnostic to whatever the content is. As long as the shit is good and makes money, who gives a fuck what it is, right? But this is not agnosticism when it comes to their ideology. They are explicitly taking over these things for ideological purposes. And incidentally, you know, they're going to make money, sure. But they're doing it for those purposes. And then they're trying to control the narrative, right? They're trying to control culture, essentially. And we're going to get trashed because conservatives, by and large, are terrible at making cultural, you know, stuff. They're largely bad at it. And they're not going to get better just because they got all the money in the world. They're going to put it in. What are they going to do? Give Theo Von a fucking TV show? No one wants to see Theo Von on anything. No one wants to see Joe Rogan on anything. No one wants to see, you know, whatever. No one wants to see more Morgan Wallen. No one wants more of that. That's not the shit people care about. They're not good at making stuff. All that they got money. That's the best thing that they got. The only thing they can contribute is paying somebody who actually is talented to do something. And unfortunately, that just means they have a lot of power to determine what gets made. And I hate it. Anyway, this timeline sucks. I just want to ask the maker, come pick me up. I'll come live in your little world. Like, cause I feel like we're heading there anyway, and at least.
Do you think you are not living in his little world?
Can the maker please get out. Miles Morales didn't want to come with you. I'll go. Take me.
Y'all should trust in Doom like normal people.
I wish Doctor. Anyway, that's my rant for the day. Y'all, we're gonna keep an eye on this. Well, we should know in the next 6 weeks how this is gonna come down. I think Paramount's probably gonna get it. This sucks, and I hate this timeline. So anyway, that's all our news for today. Yay, we did it. Maybe we missed something. You want to chime in on what we had to say? Just in general, show us some love. You know what to do. Get down there to the comment section. Leave your thoughts there, and of course, you can always hit us up. supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com. Blurred_force1 on Instagram and Threads. super_not_funny show on TikTok. And while you're doing that, do us a favor, get down there, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps grow this channel, helps more people to see this podcast, and all of the other things we do on Blurred Force 1. And of course, couldn't do this by myself. I needed Polly to come in here. Hopefully keep me from, again, off the ledge when it comes to some of this stuff. But also to get me excited for comics. Trust me, I really appreciate what you said about the absolute stuff. I really appreciate that. So where can they reach you on social media?
As always, core_mix on Threads, on Tumblr, on Instagram, maybe on Twitch.
Maybe
eventually.
One day.
Someday. One day.
You guys go.
There's no rush.
You guys go show Polly a lot of love. She's always talking about cool stuff online, and of course, she loves the comics. And also, don't talk about read positively. It's just not a thing. It's not a thing. So also, we do have this week we have a couple of viewer questions. Very cool. Thank you guys for chiming in on social media to let us know that you have some things you want us to talk about. So we're going to talk about them right now. So, and we call it wrong one. Ask Blurred Force 1. Yes, where we are going to answer your questions. So this week we got a couple. And of course, I don't have my... I'm not ready. Let's see. Let's see if we got it right this time. Yes, we got it right. All right. So first one is from Sean MS 1986 on Threads, who asks, and this is really more, Polly, this is you, because you know I'm not a regular comics reader. Your thoughts on Wanda finally becoming the Sorcerer Supreme, and on all of the who will be the next Sorcerer Supreme after Doctor Doom. Now, my understanding is this because in One World Under Doom, he is the Sorcerer Supreme, but I'm going to assume that he's not anymore after the finale of One World Under Doom. So I'm going to guess.
So unfair.
Yeah, I'm sure they were like, as always, whenever you're making socialism work, the capitalists always have to come in and like ruin your day and take your Sorcerer Supreme powers away. We can't have anything nice. Even magically, we can't have anything nice. So
because of Reed Richards.
Always. Reed Richards is, he's for the system. We know. He probably works for Paramount. Skydance Paramount. So what did you think about Wanda becoming, we get Wanda, we get a DEI hire in there. She's Romani and she's a woman. That sounds like DEI to me. I don't know.
Well, Doom is Romani.
Wasn't there a white man that could take over this instead?
Well,
I don't know.
Clearly not. Well, in general, I mean, so many people have been Sorcerer Supremes in the last few years that it's not even surprising that she's gonna have a try. And it's about time too, because like she's been messing around with magic for some time to moderate success. But I think like in the last few years, they really cleaned up her image. She undid a lot of the things that she's done wrong in the past. So yeah, it's natural choice, I'd say. But What was the second part of
Basically, what did you think about the whole who will be Sorcerer Supreme? Like that whole
Yeah,
campaign.
they did mess it up a little bit because they did the cover reveal and it was not as surprise as it was expected to be. It didn't like that. I mean, I understand that they have to like sell the books and that Wanda has a lot of fans and that Wanda Supreme would be the main attraction of the book. But no, it should have been something like what we got with the Era of Apocalypse. Because that was really unexpected. This wasn't even that influential at the time. It is now, but at the time it wasn't. But it was an interesting story, and it was a really unexpected choice, and that's what I liked about that book. I think this should have been something like that. And of course, I am terribly sad to see Doctor Doom not be Sorcerer Supreme anymore because it bothered everyone so much. It was such a joy.
Well, I mean I like Wanda. Of course, my more recent interactions with her are through the MCU, and can't see her being the Sorcerer Supreme of anything. Not just the fact that she's dead, but also she kind of was a terrible one. But even though I think it would be interesting to see a villainous Sorcerer Supreme, I don't, Doctor Doom I suppose is the closest one to it. But he's
not able.
But I'm saying like an actual, legitimately villainous actual sword, because the whole point of the Sorcerer Supreme is to protect the universe essentially from magical threats. And I always look at it this way, like people, because one of the things they don't ever do and they don't do enough in big events that threaten the Earth or threaten the universe, they never show what the fuck the villains are doing. Mind you, a lot of the villains are just as powerful as the heroes. I mean, and they don't go out of their way to be like.
I argue about that.
Well, I'm saying they don't do it enough. They don't do it enough.
Well, yeah, but they often do show that, like when something terrible and big happens, what villains are doing, how they react into it, whether they usually just get rounded up to go fight.
Well,
but by people like Reed Richards,
Like I really liked. Now I'm old, so this is one I really like. But the Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity War books from back in the 90s. Usually, you wouldn't see like, oh, what's Hammerhead doing? Oh, what's Wizard doing? No, you don't see them. But you'll see like, what's Kang doing? What is Kang? What are Thanos and not Thanos? But what are Kang? What are what's Doctor Doom? What are they doing about this? And they usually are, because they're up on what's happening, and they're not gonna just sit by and wait for Reed Richards to solve the fucking problem. They're gonna like attack it from a different angle. So
just like Doctor Doom did in Secret Wars.
Yeah, I like the idea of, and this is a bit far afield of the question, but the idea of the villains figuring out like some shit's going down. The heroes, we're not gonna be like, oh, the heroes got it. No, we need to do something about this, because I live on this planet too. I'd like to live. At the end of the day, I too would like to be alive. So let's maybe.
If I was evil, I would be like, screw them all.
Yeah, I mean, look, Red Skull might be like, fuck him, but he'd not fuck the Earth. He wants the Earth at some point. So you gotta, stand up for the planet. We all humans, we're all Earthlings. We gotta stop shit from blowing our shit up. So anyway, hopefully Sean MS 1986. I hope that answered your question. So let's move on to our other question, which was from the Marvel Reader on Threads, who asked, which comic book character or characters should get their own video game that haven't already gotten a video game. So the usual suspects have already had a video game. Trust me, the big three, the anyone in the Justice League more or less probably has had a video game. And I'm assuming he means main characters. So
do we consider like group games that DC Universe Online, or like Marvel Heroes or Marvel Rivals?
Yeah, I'm gonna say let's disregard those. Not that they've been in a character in a video game, but the video game is about them. that their whatever story that they're involved in. So, which this is a lot. So, like, I picked a few for who I think could be. I'm gonna let me see where's mine. So I got a few. Nova. Nova has been a character in things, but has not been the character. I think Nova as a character could do a really cool space-based, cosmic adventure situation. Depending on which version, is it Nova Prime Richard Rider, that could be cool. It could be a team-based thing.
If it's Sam Alexandra, it's not gonna be cool.
Yeah. But Nova Prime, like where he's just going around. Hell, if they did an Annihilation or a realm of Kings or something like that, that would be very cool, because Nova Prime Richard Rider is one of the most powerful cosmic beings that isn't like a straight up god, and he can handle a lot of shit. So he's basically Superman-ish, and he could do a lot of cool stuff. I also think a Beast Boy centered game would be very cool because of the whole morphing powers. I think that dynamic as a video game mechanic of being able to turn into a different animal to suit the situation would be a cool little mechanic. I could see like a third person kind of action situation where he'd use like, solve puzzles or solve environmental puzzles, but also could just beat the shit out of people as a hippo. That would be cool, I think. Also, this is a character most people don't really know unless you're really, really into the comics, but Marvel's Slapstick, I think, would be a dope character.
Not again!
I love Slapstick. Slapstick, I think, was a... Do you remember Freakazoid? Do you ever see the show Freakazoid? He's basically Freakazoid. Basically, Marvel Comics version of Freak. But a Freakazoid or Slapstick game would be the shit. I mean, look, he's a Looney Tunes character in a Marvel Comics world. I'd love that. I would love to see that as like some third person, action game. I think that would be really fucking cool. Again, it's like Beast Boy. His ability to just do all sorts of weird shit would be fun, I think. And my last one, and this is more of like a team game or a more of a narrative focused game. A game focused around again, this is me being old from 20 years ago. Avengers the Initiative, or it could be Strange Academy too, but the idea of you as a new recruit into the Avengers Initiative. It's you go to school, you're at camp with a bunch of other people learning how to be superheroes, and then you occasionally get called up to do missions. This could be one of those open world kind of sandboxy games where you have missions, you go around, you level your character up, they get their abilities go up, and then they get to join teams and maybe get led by maybe Carol Danvers will come in and lead you as one of the team. So it could be like a team shooter situation. To me that sounds fun, because then you could make your own character, you get your own superpowers. They don't have to be a regular character. It could be a custom character. I think that would be fun. What do you think?
Okay, so my first pick was actually a little bit similar to your last one. It's but I think it should be a game that's kind of like Midnight Suns in mechanics, in terms of mechanics, but also you can play with different characters or pick one. But I want a similar game based on New Mutants, because obviously one of my favorite teams. Similarly, I think that a story, not a story focused, but like probably like some interesting magical game about Zatanna would be cool. I would like a series of detective games for Green Lantern and based on First Sector. That would be awesome. And I want an X-Men dating sim. Just, Krakoa and all the shit that's going on there.
An X-Men light novel written and produced by a Japanese light novel or author. light novel slash manga author. I would that would sell. So because Japanese fans actually really fucking love the X-Men. They really because I think if you think about the X-Men, they really mesh well with the whole shonen and shoujo aesthetic. Like a group of
I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, my anime lingo is not up to.
Well, shonen is more female focused. Shonen is male focused. Shoujo is female. So because it's soap opera-y, it's a lot more. It plays into the genre. I think that's what I said. Japanese people, they really like X-Men. The whole we're at school, will they, won't they? We're a love triangle.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But like, make it like I don't know. Just give me the opportunity to like build relationships for them or anything.
You just want the Sims with X-Men. That's what you.
Yes, that is. No, I just want the Sims with like the Marvel universe. That would be awesome.
The Sims Marvel. EA missed an opportunity. They're never gonna do it because like
I know,
but they missed an opportunity. I think to make the Sims more.
And they could have done it because they did Star Wars expansion.
Yeah, so I think we covered this. Actually, I think all these are good ideas. They'll never make them, but it'll be cool.
We need to like copyright them because they're still gonna steal them.
They'll never make them, but yeah.
Yeah, but they're gonna steal the ideas.
Hey, maybe one day when when Disney does the AI user-generated AI content, there we go. We've done it. We'll just go on there. We were talking shit about it last week. We'll go do it anyway. Anyway, the Marvel Reader, thanks for the question. We appreciate it. So with that said, that's all of our whole show. It's been episode 207 of the Supercast. Thanks for joining us. Come back next week. Actually, I think we're gonna skip next week because of the holiday, but I think we may end up doing a Nerd and Chill stream or something like that. Also because this time of year the news really slacks off, so it might not have enough to talk about. We'll see. We'll see. We'll let you guys know. But either way, thanks for coming, chilling with us today. And you know what? Thank you also to my co-hosts for always showing up for us. So until next time, I've been Mo, your comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by my good friend Polly, and we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.